Okay, so if you haven't heard, people are freaking out about Miz's promo on Talking Smack. I think most people know what went down on that segment. I just now watched it, literally just watched it, and I decided to get up and make a video about it. And people are freaking out. They're praising this promo. They're saying that people are coming out of the woodwork. It seems to me, and saying that The Miz is so underrated. This promo was so great. He deserves to be a main eventer. He deserves to be world champion and all this other stuff. And honestly, in my opinion, because this video is going to be opinion based, in my opinion, I don't see I don't see what was so different about this promo than from his other promos. I mean, yeah, it was a decent promo. I'll give him that. It was a decent promo. It wasn't bad. It was a good promo. I don't know if this was I don't know if this was scripted or worked or because at one point he said, I don't care about the tag champs. I don't care about the WWE championship. I don't care about the women's championship. I feel like it might have been scripted, even though it seemed real. I feel like it might have been scripted, but if it was real, I don't know. But I mean, as far as the promo itself, and you can call me biased, and maybe I am being a bit biased because I don't like The Miz. I've never been impressed by The Miz. I've always thought he was mediocre at best. So, but watching this promo and comparing it to all the other promos he's cut, in his wrestling career, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see what is so impressive about it. I don't think it's a whole lot different from his other promos. It might have been his most convincing promo. I mean, whenever he cuts a promo, I mean, it always seems like you can always tell he's acting. I've never thought he was that good of an actor. I mean, this might have been maybe his most convincing promo because, admittedly, at the end of the promo, it did look like he had tears in his eyes. So I'll give him that. I mean, I'll give him that. I mean, if it was his most convincing promo, certainly. But it's taken him this long to cut. It's like he cuts one good promo that's more convincing than his other promos and any other promo he's ever cut. And now all of a sudden people are saying he deserves to be a main eventer and he deserves to be a world champion. Need I remind you that he was world champion at one point back in 2010 to 2011? And do you remember how that world title run went? I understand it wasn't all the Miz's fault. I get that. It wasn't all his fault. It wasn't all Mike's fault, but his title reign was pretty awful. Like, I never bought him as a main eventer. I never found him to be believable as world champion. I mean, for Christ's sake, they put him in the ring with Jerry Lawler, and he almost got beat by Jerry Lawler, a 61-year-old man. So, no disrespect to Jerry Lawler, he's a legend, but you get what I'm saying. So, given that, the fact that his world title reign was not that good, and then let's look at what happened after he lost the world title. Because what happened when he lost the world title? What happened? He lost the world title. He got into that feud with Alex Riley, which just ended up going nowhere because, I mean, and quick note on that, it's unfortunate what happened to Alex Riley. I thought he had a lot of potential. He was really over. I was impressed by him, and then of course, he dared stand up to John Cena backstage, and then that ended his career pretty much, but whatever. Not the point of the video. But yeah, he had the whole feud with Alex Riley. And then after that, he kind of stayed relevant for a little while. I remember he had a match with CM Punk, he came out and he cut a promo on CM Punk. It was when Punk was white hot. But he had a match with Punk, which was actually one of his best matches, in my opinion, but he was working with Punk, so he was in a triple threat for the world title at, I think, Survivor Series or TLC. I think it was TLC. He was in a world title match TLC. It was him, CM Punk, and Alberto Del Rio. And CM Punk was obviously going to retain, and then after that, he pretty much he kind of sank into he was pretty much irrelevant after that, more or less. He didn't really do much after that. I mean, from the beginning of 2012 to 2000, like late or 2014, early 2015, what was he really doing? He pretty much sank to the lower mid to the undercard. He was basically a glorified jobber for a while after that. Um, I know he won the IC title a few times, which none of them were noteworthy at all. But I mean, again, they've lowered the IC title so much, it means nowhere near as much as it did like 20 years ago. But I think that they're trying to elevate the IC title a little bit, trying to anyways. They just need to get it off the Miz. but um, but yeah, I mean, he had the IC title runs. I can't remember how many he had during that time. Um, I want to say he was in that feud he was in a little feud with like Cesaro, I think, because he was face for a little while, which didn't work because the Miz as a heel I'm not impressed with, but the Miz as a face is terrible. But yeah, I mean, he should just be a heel. But remember, he was in something with Cesaro. I don't remember if he won the U.S. title again, because I know Cesaro was the U.S. champion. I don't know if he won the U.S. title again. But all I know is that he was pretty much insignificant for a long stretch of time. You know, and that's saying kind of a lot given the fact that he had won the WWE freaking title, a few years ago. He had that whole thing with Ric Flair where Ric Flair, like, he started using the figure four leg lock, and it baffles me because it's like, really, out of all the wrestlers there, you decided to do that with The Miz. But again, that's just my biased self coming out. Had that. I don't think it really got that over. He was with Damian Sandow. He was Mizdow, but I mean, come on. I mean, who do you think was the over half of that team? It was Damian Sandow that was over. Damian Sandow was the one that got that over, not The Miz. And if you think The Miz is the one that got that over, then you're crazy. It was Damian Sandow. Because Damian Sandow is actually good on the mic and is actually a believable actor and a good wrestler. But anyways, biased self again. So there was that. And then only recently, like in the last year or so, has he really started to become relevant again with the whole movie star gimmick. Year and a half, something like that. With the whole movie star gimmick, because he did Marine 5 or something, the Marine 5 movie, which, I mean, I don't find to be a believable. I understand that he's a heel. I understand that you're supposed to. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I just don't find the movie star gimmick believable because he filmed in a WWE movie. A WWE movie. Need I say more? I mean, how many of those WWE movies have been blockbusters? Really? I mean, I might find the gimmick more believable if he had actually been in a movie where he won or if he was nominated for some type of movie award, or if he was nominated for an Oscar or something. Then I would find the gimmick believable, but I don't because he starred in a WWE film that's irrelevant already. So there's that. He brought back Maurice, came back, and now she's with him, and it's pretty much come up to this point. And since I started watching, the show again more consistently every week, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, ever since I started watching the show consistently again, for me, and not just The Miz, there have been other segments that have been pretty bad, but some of the Golden Truth segments have been pretty bad, but The Miz has been some of the worst segments for me while I've been watching the show. I mean, just not very long ago, a few weeks ago, he was in a segment on SmackDown with fucking Scooby-Doo, because they're still doing the Scooby-Doo shit. He was in a segment with someone dressed up as Scooby-Doo. It was the worst segment. And then there was the segment with Maurice and where they were being interviewed by Renee Young, and then they both got on the table and they just started looking at each other. It was so bad. Everyone, I think, I don't like anyone like that. Everyone took a shit on it, including me. It was terrible. But now, with this one promo, so the guy cuts one good promo, admittedly good promo, and now all of a sudden people are calling for him to be world champion, for him to be a main eventer. Really? I don't get it. After so long, after like 6 years, I still don't see it. I don't see it. I don't get it. I'm not just saying that. I'm not making shit up. I genuinely do not see it. I don't see it with The Miz. I'm still not impressed. I failed to be impressed. It was a good promo. It was probably one of his best promos. Sure. I admit that. But so? I mean, I was way more impressed with Ziggler's promo on SmackDown before SummerSlam. You know which one I'm talking about. I was way more impressed with Seth Rollins' promo on Raw, where he was saying he is the myth, he is the legend, you know, he is the man, he is the myth, he is the legend. I've been way more impressed with let's think here. I mean, Dean Ambrose from week to week. I mean, I've been way more impressed with his promo work. I mean, but again, I'm getting off topic again, but again, I admit it was a good promo, but I'm still not convinced. I'm not going to start going on saying, "Oh, he should be world champion." No. That he should be a main eventer. No. I'm still not impressed. I'm still not convinced. I mean, I still don't understand. I genuinely do not understand. I genuinely do not get it. And for me personally, I think that his time has come and gone. Oh, by the way, I do want to talk about what was said. The thing that started this all, Daniel Bryan called him a coward in the ring, which that's pretty harsh. That is pretty harsh, admittedly. Kind of rude, but it's kind of true. I mean, The Miz, and his matches really aren't that great. They're kind of boring, honestly. He doesn't really do a whole lot. He's pretty limited. He doesn't really take a lot of risk in his matches at all. And I'm not saying that all wrestlers have to take a bunch of risks constantly, but admittedly, he doesn't really take a lot of risks, and Daniel Bryan called it the soft style, the WWE soft style, which The Miz has only ever really wrestled for WWE besides, like UPW or something, but aside from that, he's only really ever wrestled in the WWE, and Daniel Bryan brought up the time he was in his indies, and, Daniel Bryan is a seasoned wrestler, okay? He has wrestled all over, for many different companies, he's wrestled all over the world, won all different types of titles, including the WWE title and other titles in WWE. He's done it all in wrestling. I mean, really, not just being with WWE. He's done it all around all the world. He's a seasoned wrestler, whereas The Miz, he's only ever wrestled in WWE. To me, he's always been mediocre in the ring, very limited. I've never watched a Miz match where I stand up, and I go, wow, yes, The Miz, that was a great match. That was a classic. I've never seen a Miz match like that. Never. Not once. In my opinion, I have never seen a classic Miz match. Never. And Miz called Daniel Bryan a coward because he got himself injured and he had to retire. First of all, WWE wouldn't let Daniel Bryan wrestle. Daniel Bryan said himself he wanted to get back in that ring and wrestle. He said that back then. If he could have gotten in the ring, continued to wrestle, he would have, but the WWE wouldn't let him because he kept getting injured. And if he had wrestled again and he had gotten injured again, it could have been much more serious. So I don't want to see him get seriously injured. So yes, he retired because if he got himself injured again, he could have killed himself. So he retired for a really legitimate reason. How dare you say that Daniel Bryan doesn't love the fans and love wrestling? Because he does. He's wrestled longer than you, and he's wrestled around in more different companies, is way more seasoned than you'll ever be. So fuck you, Miz, and wrestling in bingo halls? Fuck you. But anyways, that's my thoughts. I might do a follow-up video to this because this video is getting too long, so there's more stuff I want to say, but for now, this is my opinion on the promo. My opinion, so there you go. But yeah, for this video, talk to you guys later. Peace.